In this video, I'm going to talk about why commercial property. It's a bit of a motivation, at the same time, you'll get some value out of it. So let's start. First of all, just give you the mathematics, which is like if you buy a commercial property, as soon as you own or like the transaction happen and you now own a commercial property, which means you are the top 1% population in Australia. Think about for a moment, like if you go to a movie theater and there are 100 people and you are one of them, that means chances are that you are the only one who own a commercial property. The rest 99 people have not owned a commercial property. That itself says a lot about where you are now. Now that's just one step I'm just giving. Don't think about making money, don't think about anything. Just by owning a commercial property, you are the top 1% population in this country. So that's the number one thing, is the ownership. Because now the second part of commercial property is that control. You can do way more control by owning multiple commercial properties. And there are strategies, there are some ways, there are some personal circumstances, there are situations, so many things to be factored in. But think about for a moment, the more you can control, the better for you. And let me give you this. Like, let's say if you can control $10 million of commercial property versus if you can control $2 million of commercial property, a $10 million will always be better, right? Even though you took as much as possible loan, it is still better, because think about the $10 million property, even though it gives you like a 2% or 3% growth. I'm not talking about 10% growth. I'm talking about 3%, 4% growth. That is $10 million will become 400,000 growth in a year. And as you know that the commercial property, as the rent goes up, so does the property value. So if 3 to 4% rent bump up means 3 to 4% property growth. So a $10 million will give you a 400,000 growth, which you are not going to get if you only targeting about $1 or $2 million worth of assets. So the bigger the better, and you need more control in commercial property. So why commercial? Because you can control more. In general, apple to apple comparison, any other assets, any other form of assets, if you buy with the same money, you would be able to buy more and you'd be able to have more qualified control with commercial property. So again, let me give you one example just to prove my point. Let's say a person, you and another person is your friend. So your friend one, he doesn't believe in property. He always put money in the market, and whatever money surplus that he has, he just put in the market, which is giving you 8 to 10% return. Let's say your other friend too, he believes in property, but he always invests into residential property, and that residential property is giving, let's say again, 8 to 10% return. Now your first friend, who is putting that money and everything, he's not borrowing anything, hence he doesn't have that capacity to like 80-20 rule, which is like 80% is lender money, 20% is your money, and it is not giving him enough growth or enough control, because he's only controlling maybe 100,000, 200,000, 500, he's in thousands. Your second friend, who bought residential property, 2, 3, 4 residential property, but he doesn't want to move out of anywhere else, and he bought like $2 or $3 million worth of residential property, and he's giving you, let's say, 7-8% return. But you are smart enough to understand about that, and you can then, the similar circumstances, can control more commercial property, because the commercial property has better cash flow, better income, so that way you can borrow more and you can buy a bigger properties, and then you can control, let's say, $5 million worth of commercial. Now $5 million worth of commercial and $3 million worth of residential, $5 million will always be a better control or more money over a period of 10 years or 15 years time. Same circumstances, same amount of income, same type of lifestyle I'm trying to compare, but just having more control, you can have better income, better cash flow, as well as that better growth. Like amount wise, it will be way better. Now I'm talking about the long term, because generally speaking, we all are talking about the 10 years, 15 years strategy, not like a get rich quick scheme of 6 months, 1 year. That's a different strategy, not in these circumstances. So the point is the more, which is why commercial. Because of the control. You can have a better control in commercial property. The third thing that I will talk about why commercial is that never sell attitude, never sell kind of a situation. Why never sell? Think about for a moment, if a commercial property is making money, is a positive cash flow, why would you sell? Period. You do not have to sell, right? It is giving you cash flow, you enjoy the cash flow, because as soon as you sell, it is going to trigger the capital gain tax. You have to pay a portion of that to the ATO, to the government, period, irrespective of residential, commercial. But in commercial, you do not have to sell because it is making money, it is giving you positive cash flow. And even 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, there is a tenancy change, that's fine. You find a new tenant and uplift the property, new tenant, and put it again in the cash flow boost. Why would you sell it? That's a very significant point, that do not sell a commercial property unless you have to. And in this case, if it is giving a positive cash flow, you do not have to. Okay, so that hopefully it makes sense that commercial property is a never sell kind of attitude. Now that doesn't mean that you will not sell. It depends on so many circumstances. In my earlier video, I talked about that why people sell commercial property. By go ahead and watch those videos. But in this case, the attitude that I want you to think about, that why commercial, because you do not have to sell. Now you ask the question that, oh, in residential also I do not have to sell. And that's true, you don't have to sell unless you find a way to get a positive cash flow, or unless you want to find a way to make money. Because residential property, even though there is no loan with that property, all these expenses that you will always have, such as land tax, council rate, insurance, that needs to be paid by the landlord. So the cash flow will eventually become significantly low after paying all these expenses, even though there is no loan component, even though 100% paid up. And that is why commercial is such a lucrative investment. And that is how that never sell mentality can make you a long way to move into commercial and make a lot of money in commercial property. So hopefully this gives you an idea about why commercial. There are many other reasons, but these 3 reasons I want you to strongly think about and ask yourself, are you playing this game? Are you willing to play this game of making more money, keeping this forever, and it is still giving you a positive cash flow? If you are, remember, top 1%, you can be top 1% just by owning one. And if you want 2, 3, 4, then you'll like 0.05% of this population of this country. I hope this video is helpful to motivate you to understand about this commercial property, why commercial property. And if you enjoyed, please help me by subscribing this channel. It's free, just press that button. It is going to help me a lot, and it is actually help me to reach out more people like you, and it motivates like anything to me to create such videos and bring those content to you so that you understand and make informed decisions. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.